I'm really into symbols. They really speak millions of words. One symbol can across cultures. So I'd love to start our conversation by just getting into certain very iconic symbols and what they mean. So the first one is the yin yang, which is something I use all the time. And I'm curious to know how you interpret the yin yang.
So, I mean, the yin yang is really one of the oldest symbols I think that we have, and it's actually quite universal. I've seen versions of the yin yang that were found in the Mediterranean area, and then obviously the ones we know the most are the ones that we see from Asian culture. But I think it's actually a symbol that precedes, that's very, very old, and so it's basically the understanding that the world seems to lay itself out through a form of duality, which we could call heaven and earth, we could call masculine and feminine. There are different tags to place the duality on, but it's basically that there is something like identity, right, and something like potential, maybe is a good way to understand it, and that the world is a play between the two. But that the opposites are not just like blank opposites, and that's why the yin yang is so powerful, because it shows that the thing that's driving the opposition is the other, and so there isn't like a completely pure opposite that is, like a kind of radical dualism that you see in the caricatures of Manichaeism or these types of philosophies, but rather that the opposite is leading each one. So like the thing that's making identity move is potential, and the thing that's making potential move is identity. So you have this beautiful image of the swirl, right, of the dot in the center. But we also, one of the things we forget about the yin yang symbol also is that it's contained in a circle, which means that it's also a duality that's contained in unity, and that there is a higher unity which joins the opposites together, and that it's not just a form of dualism as well.
Wow, I love that. I never thought about it being contained in a full circle and being complete.
What symbolism does is that it brings those together in unity. So it actually joins multiplicity into one, and that's what the word symbol means. Symbol means two things thrown together. It's a Greek word that refers often to the place where two rivers will meet. So you have like two rivers, and then there's a place where the two rivers meet is the symbol of the river. And that's the way that I understand it. So it's not so much that sometimes we think of symbolism as something that points to something else, right? Like a sign. But that's not the way that I understand symbolism. I understand it as rather the idea of concentration. So concentration of multiplicity into unity. So the things that we most easily recognize as symbols, let's say the yin yang symbol or the cross, or a circle with a point in it, something that is the reason why we tend to recognize those things as symbols is because they concentrate more. Like they just take a bunch of stuff and they concentrate it into the identity of the thing that they're manifesting. So that's why they're so contained. Like a cross has, indefinite amount of examples of what it could represent, in the sense that it's a vertical and a horizontal. And so it's a very potent symbol because it's just structure, and that structure finds examples in the rest of the world. And it's the same with the yin yang. But symbolism happens at every level of reality, at every place where multiplicity joins together in a pattern towards a purpose. That is what I mean when I say symbolism. And that's why you can talk about symbolism at every level, from the highest kind of metaphysical places where we have things like the yin yang symbol or the cross or the ankh, or these really, really primal kind of glyphs that contain a lot of reality in them. But you can also talk about a movie or brushing your teeth or whatever things that you do in the world that join multiplicity together towards purpose.
I love that. And it seems like these symbols touch us in a deep way, even if we're not consciously aware of it. We're surrounded by symbols constantly, and maybe we're not aware of the deeper meaning, but they still
It doesn't matter.
Yeah,